Several days of rain ahead across Texas. Let's talk about just how much rain you might be getting, and will you be dealing with accumulating snow tomorrow? If you're in the Panhandle, you might. Let's talk about it in this Wednesday edition of This Weather Roundup. Good morning. It's 13th of December, 2023. I'm Texas Storm Chasers Boldy-in-Chief David Reimer. We now have a multi-day precipitation event beginning across the state of Texas. As that occurs, we're going to see an upper-level low slowly move from west to east, bringing plenty of moisture inland from the Gulf of Mexico and allowing for steady rainfall in areas that really need it without severe thunderstorms or big-time risk of flash flooding. That's a pretty nice change of pace from our typical weather mischief here in the state of Texas. Let's pop on over to the high-resolution rapid refresh model. This has plenty of rain underway by late morning across South Texas, all the way up to San Antonio, up through the Concho Valley, San Angelo, through the Permian Basin, Midland, Odessa, West Texas, Lubbock, up into the Panhandle, Amarillo. Now, let's go through the timing of all this, and then we'll talk specifically about the changeover to snow in the Panhandle of West Texas. Over the next couple of days, specifically today, tonight, through Thursday afternoon, best chance of rain, western two-thirds of Texas, with the exception of far west Texas, the borderland around El Paso, down into the Davis Mountains, up into the Trans-Pecos. That's going to be kind of the western dividing line, with folks west of that line not really seeing much precipitation out of this. East of that, yeah, you're going to get some rain out of this. As we go through tomorrow night into Friday morning, we're going to see rain start moving into northwest Texas, the big country, the Concho Valley, the Edwards Plateau, Wichita Falls, Abilene, San Angelo, Del Rio, down the Rio Grande Plains, Laredo. From there, Texoma, Wichita Falls to Sherman, North Texas, DFW, Central Texas, Waco to Austin, South Central Texas, the Hill Country, San Antonio, back west into the Hill Country. From there, Friday afternoon, Northeast Texas, East Texas, the Brazos Valley, Bryan College Station, Southeast Texas, the Houston area, into the Golden Triangle by Saturday morning, far Southeast Texas, the Beaumont, Orange areas. And again, as this occurs, pretty solid, moderate to at times heavy rainfall. Severe thunderstorms not expected, maybe some rumbles of thunder, lightning here and there, but again, severe storms, tornadoes, damaging winds, hail, not going to be an issue with this. And the way it looks now, timing-wise, rain will be exiting the state from west to east as we get into Saturday morning, which means most of the weekend may end up being dry across a majority of the state. We are going to have to watch for some wraparound precipitation on the backside of the upper level low, which you can kind of make out as we get into Friday afternoon and Saturday morning, how the precipitation kind of kinks and wraps around. That's your big upper level low. That's going to be slow moving. As some of that precip wraps back around, we may see some light snow or rain showers in the Panhandle Friday afternoon into Friday night. All right, that's the timing on all this. Let's talk about specifically the changeover to snow for the Panhandle. At this point, all rain through this afternoon. Heavy snow in northeastern New Mexico, big-time snows there, don't travel. It's not going to be a pleasant experience. As we get into this evening, the far northwestern Texas Panhandle around Dalhart probably going to change over to snow. It'll be a wet, heavy snow with the potential for several inches of snow accumulation. We'll talk about numbers here in a minute. As we get into Thursday morning, that rain-snow line is going to move south-southeast towards places like Vega, Amarillo, Pampa, Borger, Dumas, eventually passing through Perryton, Canadian, into the northeastern Texas Panhandle Thursday morning. The potential for rain to change over to moderate to, at times, heavy wet snow. Surface temperatures are probably going to stay right at or just a couple degrees above freezing. This is going to be because very cold air aloft under that upper level low, which is how we're still going to have snow, even if the surface temperature is 33 or 34 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, because of how heavy the snow is going to be falling, it's going to stick to everything and stay there for a while, even though it'll be melting. The falling rate of snow will be higher than the melting rate, so it's going to stick for a while, even though it'll probably try to melt after a few hours to several hours. The problem is, as we get into Thursday night, temperatures are going to go down to the 20s. Anything, slush, water, snow left is going to freeze up into ice pretty quick after sunset on Thursday. As we continue into Thursday evening, snow will end across the Panhandle of West Texas as precipitation moves east and changes back to rain in northwest Texas, the big country, as this model shows here. Now, there is the potential we could see some wraparound snow showers Friday morning, Friday afternoon to Friday evening, depending on the track of the upper level low over the Panhandle, as you can kind of see this model depict here. If that occurs, we could see light additional snow accumulations. All right. Snow forecast numbers. Here's the latest, and again, this is still going to be somewhat dependent on the track of the upper level low. If it shifts south or north a bit, same thing with these snow totals, and if temperatures end up being a degree or two colder, these snow totals are going to double. Likewise, if temperatures are just a little warmer, these are going to drop off considerably. At this point, 3 to 8 inches of snow possible in the far northwestern Texas Panhandle from Dalhart up to Texline. By the time you get into northeastern New Mexico, Clayton, we're talking about nearly a foot of snow. So the line from maybe 3 inches to 4 inches of snow in Dalhart to a foot of snow 35 miles up the road in Clayton, New Mexico. That's the kind of spatial gradient we're talking about here. At this point, places like Dumas, Stratford, over to Stinnett up north, potential for 1 to 3 inches of snow, maybe 4. Perryton, Follett, Canadian, maybe an inch, if that. Again, this forecast map doesn't necessarily have that, but we'll say that just in case. Further south, places like Vega, Amarillo, perhaps up to Dumas, 1 to 2 inches of snow. And again, there's probably going to be some banding, so amounts will vary over small distances. By the time you get down to Clovis, New Mexico, east to Dimmitt, Tulia, maybe an half inch, if that, all the way up to Groom, Pampa, etc. But again, we're going to have to keep an eye on this, and it is probable the snow total map will look a little bit different. It may expand a little further southeast, but at this point, Lubbock, you may see some snow flurries on Thursday afternoon for a little while. Accumulations don't look likely right now. Same thing for Shamrock. But again, we'll watch this. And that's going to be it for the winter weather potential in Texas. So places like DFW, Midland, Abilene, Wichita Falls, Tyler, Texarkana, Austin, Houston, San Antonio, Corpus Christi, Brownsville, McAllen, Galveston, Fort Stockton, El Paso, Pecos. You get no snow. No snow for you this time. I'm very sorry. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just baldy and chiefy here. Trust me, I'm bald at 32. I think I have enough punishment in my life with that. As we talk about forecast rain totals. Now, for the Panhandle, West Texas, we're still going to be talking 2 to 4 inches of rain, plus the snow. And again, once the snow melts, it'll transfer over to the liquid equivalent of about half of whatever the snow is. So if there's 2 inches of snow, maybe half an inch to an inch of rain. That'll transition down to that once it melts. This is going to be a beneficial precipitation event for the Panhandle, West Texas, Northwest Texas, down to the big country, the Permian Basin, Dumas, Amarillo, Plainview, Lubbock, Childress, Abilene. We're talking about the potential 2 to 4 inches of rain, locally up to 5 inches. Wichita Falls, Sherman, DFW down to Waco to Tyler, North and East Texas, maybe 1 to 1.5 inches of rain. Kind of a corridor of lower amounts, maybe 1/4 to 1 inch of rain in the Concho Valley, the Edwards Plateau, the Rio Grande Plain, San Angelo, Del Rio, Eagle Pass, Laredo, down to McAllen, San Antonio, Austin, Bryan College Station, the Brazos Valley to Houston, Southeast Texas, East Texas, Lufkin, Beaumont, up into the Ark-La-Tex, Texarkana. So again, not a lot of big-time rain out of this, but still enough, decent amount. And then a possible maxima along the lower Texas coast between Corpus Christi, the coastal bend, and the Rio Grande Valley down into South Padre Island, Brownsville, west of McAllen. So again, highest rains, Panhandle, West Texas, Northwest Texas, and part of the Rio Grande Valley. But at this point, the eastern 80% of Texas should get measurable rainfall over the next few days, and we need it. All right, temperatures over the next few days, let's talk about it very quickly. Highs today only in the 40s, West Texas, Panhandle 50s into the hill country, North Texas 60s, Southeast Texas 70s, Rio Grande Valley, Deep South Texas, Southern Big Bend National Park 65 in El Paso and far West Texas today. Tomorrow highs only in the 30s, Panhandle West Texas 50s. Pretty much it's going to be the same tomorrow as it is today, except it's going to be colder in the Panhandle in West Texas. Friday, now this is when it's going to get colder across the state as we see rain chances spread east 40s and low 50s all the way down towards Austin, Waco, Palestine, East Texas, Tyler, Paris, New Boston, out west to Trans-Pecos. Still 60s, low 70s, mid 70s, southeastern third of Texas. Saturday, coolest day, storm system departing, still some cloud cover, some north winds, ushering in cooler air, non-Arctic air mass, mind you, but cool air. So 40s and 50s for highs on Saturday, northern two-thirds of Texas, low 60s, southeastern third of Texas. And then as we get into Sunday, we're going to start recovering with upper 50s to 60s across the state, and that recovery will continue into early next week. Now, quickly, let's take a look at the extended range outlook for the Christmas week time frame. Above average temperatures expected across a majority of the country. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to be 85 degrees on Christmas Day. Above average in this case could be, half a degree above average all the way up to 85 degrees on Christmas Day. At this point, we're not getting specific with the temperature forecast, but unlike last year, it looks like this one has a better chance of not having a blistery cold wind chill. And to go along with that, above average precipitation chances, perhaps, as indications are, we're going to see an active subtropical jet stream. That's the southern jet stream. So things could be wet and active as we get into the days leading up to Christmas. If you're heading up into the northern plains, the northeastern United States, the mid-Atlantic, a decent chance things will be a bit quieter in the weather department with below average precipitation chances. So we'll see what that all leads as we get towards Christmas week. And that's going to be it for your Texas Weather Roundup on this Wednesday, the 13th of December, 2023. As always, we thank you all for subscribing, liking, and commenting on these videos. We do our best to try to get back to each and every one of you. Feel free to download the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app for your local weather forecast, interactive weather radars, your daily Texas Weather Roundup, severe weather coverage when necessary, and of course, storm chasing video, because Texas Storm Chasers. And as always, visit us on the web, texasstormchasers.com. Y'all have a good day. God bless. We'll keep an eye on things with you.